Good morning, Director Arturo Prins.
Good morning.
Tell us briefly what your film is about.
Well, the film is a very sad story of losing a love, a past love, and it took me 10 years of working, more than 50 hours of collection of recording people, friends, closer friends, and it was a kind of portrait of myself or a love letter to my ex-girlfriend to recover her, to regain her. But the thing is, finally, I couldn't. But at the same time, after a lot of work, more than 3,000 files of images, many thousand hours of edition, more than 3 years of edition, and working so hard and paying for my own and producing with my own money all this film that is about it cost me 10,000 euros. It was a film that talks about the desperation of people that we go through what we think it might be love, but finally I discovered that our models of love are on crisis, and I make a portrait of all these crises of between women and men, why they cannot love each other. So what it started as a personal problem, it becomes that I bring out a big, massive problem that has to do with women and men, and the difference of equality relationships, of equal relationships, and the problem that we got in between together. And that is the very hard thing that we have to review and to change. And that's what I found out with my film, that is I'm making an endoscope of a corpse, of a cadaver, and these are the relation that we got in our past. Very old tradition, Judeo-Christian Greek tradition. Then everything should be review, and we should make a very strong critic against our models to change and to become more happy.
Why did you want to do this kind of story?
Well, because I needed to think about my past relation and to understand why we suffer so much. I think that sometimes love can make you suffer even more than a death of a closer friend or lover or mother or father. Even you feel that it's a kind of death. So make this autopsy brings me out a lot of information about how we are stand up in front and or confront these models of slaveness, of certain incapacity to be very autonomous because we are in love, because we belong to other persons, because we are dependent, because we are feared to be alone, and all these things. This film, it's very attached to the thoughts of a very important, for me, a big reference French philosopher called Michel Onfray, and I took this book as the title of the experience that I really learned from his voice, that is asking, pushing and stimulating us to change our models. Théorie d'un corps amoureux, or theory of a body in love for a solar erotique. So if you could read this book in French, it's a very interesting show that we have to review, change, and have new chances to find new solutions to be more comfortable between couples, and even to think that it's not everything has to do like the system tell us how to do it. I mean, we could be more open-minded, we could be more freely, not possessive, not jealousies, and at the same time polygams, because love is like a tsunami. You cannot constrain love only for a couple of walls with a family kid. It should be something more open, more wide, and where you can feel comfortable, and not always in a guilty story of have to be frustrated. And in that sense, Michel Onfray speaks about that. There is a very interesting philosopher from the 18th century that is called Charles Fourier, and he makes this book that talks about polygamy, Élogie de la polygamia. That means that you could understand that love could be given to everyone, in an intimate way, emotional way, in a physical way. We should not be constrained to be only with one person for all life. It could be at the same time with many people, and that's what I realized with this film. I started as a romantic person, and I finished myself discovering that there is a free cartography, there is a free map or diagram that we should walk around and to take a good new look and to have the chance to change things, because it's a taboo to go against this. People doesn't want to change anything on family. The structure is so solid, so hard to change, so unmovable, that we should try to experience new possibilities, and to, as we are trying to change our way of economy, we could do it with love. And there is a big field or land of to experiment, and we should try to do that.
So what makes this different from other films you've done?
Well, first of all, I think that this is a very intimate work. It started as a very little letter of love to my ex-girlfriend that finally I couldn't regain, of course, but it took me 10 years of working. And that means that I progress a lot. Myself, it's changed, and you will see this changing, this evolution. You can watch it in the film. And this long period of filming, it's good for certain things, but it's bad for others, because what you can show all an evolution, but you see that you feel uncomfortable with certain things I did in my past that I wouldn't do that now, and I can see all that. So for me, it's like an album, and I feel very uncomfortable to watch Arturo or myself 10 years ago, because I realized that this motherfucker is so sad, he's so pathetic, this motherfucker is so... he's saying so much stupidities, and he's making so much bad things that I can't really... I'm very ashamed of him, as I could be ashamed of myself after 10 years. So this process is so long, and it took me so much people involved. And of course, I did it without thinking of a film. I was thinking just to make a letter to my ex-girlfriend, and finally it becomes a film. So it has a lot of defects, mistakes, technical mistakes, sound, image, everything changed. Even the quality of my first images were 720 per 576, and now we are playing with HD 2K. So there is a lot of mistakes. It's like a sketch of a personal album life. And this has to do with an autopsy. You open a cadaver and you see all the problems of what that body was before, and what you can try to avoid on next times. So it's a lesson, it's a learning, it's a teaching, very personal. And even though I feel that I'm ashamed sometimes of myself, it is an experience that teaches me a lot.
So what message do you want people to get from your film?
The message is very clear. I told you that there is new chances, new possibilities to change things about love. We have to experiment. We have to try to be more open. Women should be more equal with men. They could have lovers, same as men or husbands did and have now. They can experiment the chance of not living together. Could be in different places, living together apart. They have the option of being two women together, two men together. They could have, a woman can have three men, and they can be the three men in love with that woman. For example, like you could have three husbands, or the opposite way. And it should be more open, and people should love, really, because as Nietzsche said, we should learn to love, because we haven't do it really much at the moment. So it's something, it's a field to experiment, and we should not be fear about that, because love is a force, it's a tsunami, as I told you before, that comes and inundate everything. It should be like that. And if you treat people with elegance, with elegancy, with good manners, hospitality, you can reach happiness wherever you are, and without any lie. And that's what the invitation of Autopsy of Love, to review, to change, interchange reasons and thoughts, because there are a lot of people thinking and working on their own ideas to change this field of suffering, to become the experience of a couple or threesomes or foursomes or whatever you want to be, and even if you want to be with an animal, whatever you could want, you can do it. Just try, change it, and experiment. And we should not think that this is something that we cannot touch, because we can move everything as we wish.
That's all. Thank you so much.
To you.
Okay. Thank you.
To you to give this